What is up? Welcome into your daily Buckeye Blitz for a Thirsty Thursday. On the road Thursday, I like to call it. Oh, September 29th, 2022. Thank you for everybody thank you to everybody that reached out and wished us safe travels through the hurricane and everything. Coming to you on location from Vero Beach. So we went from the west coast of Florida to the east coast of Florida, and now we're just kind of waiting for the storm to pass. It's just windy over here and rainy. Waves are pretty badass, though. Always miss those East Coast waves. So, anyways, just want to thank everybody that reached out, and it's awesome. It reminds you, reminds me why I do this. It's for the interaction with you guys. Loyal listeners, and even you part timers. I don't mind you. You're cool with me. So, anyways, thank you again. My wife and I are safe and happy and healthy, and I did get a little drunk last night, though, so I'm kind of nursing a hangover. So might be a little shorter show this morning. Anyway, can you see my eyes? They look a little glassy. Yeah, not surprised. A little red, bloodshot. Anyways, today's show is something I've been thinking about for really since the end of the Wisconsin game Saturday night. I've been thinking about this topic, and it's something we run into every year, it seems, at Ohio State, and that is complacency. Complacency. How do we getting bored with being so successful and winning every game, blowout fashion, especially against a supposedly good team like Notre Dame or Wisconsin, whoever it might be? Seems like we run into this problem like Bama does. I mean, you have always heard Nick Saban talk about the rat poison. He hates his players to hear the read their headlines and hear the compliments, because he feels it's poisonous to their culture, and guys get a big head. They stop working as hard. They forget what got them to that successful level, and they start backing off a little bit in practice, film, whatever it might be. Maybe they don't don't work out as many days a week as they used to. So I agree with him. I mean, freaking guys, you can't argue with his mindset. I mean, I think it is rat poison, whatever you want to call it. So the biggest enemy of Ohio State right now is complacency. I don't think there's anybody on the schedule going forward till we to the playoffs that is a bigger threat. Maybe Michigan, you could make that argument, but I think complacency is much, much, much more the enemy and the threat. Because it's easy to find motivation after a loss, or a really tight win to like against a Tulsa team or somebody, a low level team where you just get by. It's easy to find motivation and areas to build on. But right now, this freaking team is a well-oiled machine, right? I mean, I ask anybody to show me something where that's not working on the team, offense, defense, whatever. So still finding that same motivation and maintaining the intensity following wins and these blowout wins and big wins, that's the problem. And also, you got to keep in mind 8 home games this year on the regular season. So that's unusual too. So you're eating your home cooking. You're not going on the road where you have to develop that kind of us against the world mentality as much. So I think that's real. So Ryan Day and his staff have to watch for this shit. They got to keep an eye on the complacency. They got to maintain their level that has got them to this point, right? They have to continue like setting goals, short-term goals, day to day, week to week, like the defense. We want a shutout this week. or whatever the goal might be. We want 3 turnovers, or we want, less than 200 yards allowed to the opposing offense. Whatever the goals are, set these short-term goals and then maintain that competition level within the team. That old adage that they always like to preach, iron sharpens iron. Well, you got to maintain that level, because we're not going to face another team the quality of our own team. So those Tuesday, Wednesday practices they say are so physical, and those are the big ones where they really put in a lot of time and effort on the plays, and hours are spent on plays. We got to maintain that, and got to keep going that extra mile, keep maintaining that, that long-term goal. You got to remember what the long-term goal is. It's, the championship, 15 weeks, play your ass off for 15 weeks, do whatever it takes in between there to get to that point. Right. Saban had a good quote like a year or two ago about maintaining and fighting off complacency. He said, you want to remember what it feels like when you don't have success, and let that be a motivating factor. Think about that. You want to remember what it feels like when you don't have success. So when you're down after a loss, whatever it might be, let that be a motivating factor. Let that motivate you, right? Not these big blowout wins. Those should not motivate you. So that's all I got for you today. I think tomorrow we'll talk a little Keon Keeley. I know everybody's big into him. He's like become the headliner of this 2023 class. So keep it locked in here. I'll probably still be on location coming from Vero. So appreciate everybody tuning in, and keep it locked in here. We'll talk to you later. Go Bucks.